Welcome to the Young Crones Cafe, where you can get a magic brew full of all sorts of information, both witchy and practical.
Grab a cup of coffee and join us. I'm Elizabeth, a wordsmith.
And I'm Dave, a modern-day sage.
We are going to talk about various witchcraft and life topics from a slightly more mature perspective, at least most of the time.
Thanks for joining us.
Here is a little something extra from the Young Crones Cafe to get you through until our next regularly scheduled podcast. And I am laughingly calling this little extra self-care without getting wet. All right, it's that time of year where the holiday season is upon us, and bath bombs and shower things, steamers they call them, that you can put in your drain so that you get the aromatherapy scents abound. Candles are, scented candles especially, are being offered everywhere with the idea that if you need self-care, you should go take a bath with candlelight and soft music and flower petals in the water, which quite frankly clog the drain if you're not careful. Now, we think of self-care as taking an active role increasing your own well-being or happiness, especially when under stress. And I don't know what's more stressful than December or the current weather situation that's going on across the country that they're calling a generational storm and a bomb cyclone and flash freezing and blizzard conditions and excess wind. It's cold, it's winter, it's snowy. We'll get through it, maybe. But when you think about it, there's lots of different ways you can do some self-care and activities that don't involve a bathtub or even getting wet unless you really feel like you have to. So the point is to start thinking of things that make you feel like you are taking the best care of yourself, physically, mentally, and spiritually. So here is a list of potential activities to get that thinking and doing process started that I came up with yesterday while I was sitting in my car waiting for a grandchild to finish their holiday shopping and get through a never-ending checkout line. How about dancing in your living room if you're so inclined? In my case, singing along with the radio in my car, or, as it often happens, yelling at newscasters or traffic reporters. They don't know what they're doing. If the weather cooperates, take a walk. Take a nap. There's a novel concept. Why did we think that as adults we're not supposed to nap? A great deal of the world, mostly Spanish speaking, seems to have the right idea of taking a siesta after lunch when you're tired anyway, and they wake up energized and get a lot more done. Call someone who's a friend of yours or a family member or someone you haven't talked to in a while and just say hi. Play a game. Video games count, a phone app game counts, or even an old-fashioned one with pieces and a board. I can remember getting into some violent conflicts, well, not violent, just sounding violent conflicts over Monopoly when I was younger. Here's another one. Eat something you really like. Doesn't have to be a huge amount of it, and don't think about the calories or whether or not it's healthy while you're having it. You can always make up for it later if you need to. How about trying some of those random acts of kindness that they tout every year about this time? You could always pay for the coffee for the person behind you in the drive-thru. Watch a movie. Or watch cartoons. With all the streaming services, you can easily find the ones that always made you laugh when you were a kid. Smile for 30 seconds. It's harder than you think, but it can make your mood improve. Turn off your phone for about 15 minutes or even longer if you get that bold. Cloud watch. This does require better weather. It's a little difficult to tell where the clouds are when the sky is completely clouded over and it's snowing, but anything is possible. Again, when you have a clear sky at night, go out and look and see what stars you can find. Try going somewhere and parking your car where you're actually not completely surrounded by as many lights as usual if you can. Make a gratitude list. Ready, set, go. Write down 10 things as fast as you can, and they don't have to be big things either. How about the fact that you're sitting here listening to this and you have time to do so? And read something just for fun or listen to an audiobook. Either way, you're learning something new or you're escaping to somebody else's adventure. Take a few minutes and just gently stretch as many muscles as you can safely manage. Now, that is not saying if you are crippled up like I am some days with arthritis that we're asking you to suddenly start doing yoga asanas, but just some gentle movement. Stand up out of the chair during the commercials even. Blow bubbles. Soap works, but so does gum. You're listening to a podcast. There you go. You're doing something that is taking care of yourself right there. And ask for help with something if you need it. Please, people, you don't have to be a superhero all the time. And that's one that I really struggle with. I need to put up on a sticky note right on the corner of my computer to remind me. And finally, last but not least, just breathe. We have to do it anyway, and it's amazing how a few deep breaths can actually induce some feelings of calm. So with that being said, there's a list of things to think about that are self-care activities. No water involved. Amazing concept for a lot of us, I know, but guess what? These might actually be easier to do because trying to find time at my house to actually get in the bathroom without being interrupted by somebody who has to use it long enough to actually take a bath when there are other people in the house is nigh on impossible. So with that being said, until next time, may you find mirth and reverence in all things. Well, it looks like the coffee cups are empty for this week. We hope you join us again next Tuesday. But you can find us at our website, 2youngcrones.com. That's the number 2, Young Crones.
We'd love to have you join our growing online Discord community. Check out our new Patreon presence. Just look for Young Crones Cafe. Through Patreon, you'll be able to make it to our Discord. We are also Young Crones Cafe on Twitter and Facebook.
Until then, remember, we are witches who work with energies to effect change.
We are believers in both immanent and transcendent divine.
We are celebrants of the passage of the solar and lunar cycles.
We are hedge walkers who pass back and forth between the worlds of the magical and the mundane.
We are seekers of knowledge.
And we are walkers of a spiritual tradition we call the Path.
So mote it be.
So mote it be.